Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a
Thank you for
edition
listening.
of the Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. We got a fantastic Wednesday show for the people, including the return.
Handle this to Rocky Romanella.
Yeah, the return of Rocky Romanella as the ice hockey portion of the Milan Cortina Olympics continues to heat up. We have to get our hockey expert on the airways. We'll be talking Olympics today, people. Yesterday, Team USA brought home 5 more medals to add to their total medal count. And in some sports, we don't really normally win medals. We have another ruling in the NCAA that I find very, very interesting, considering we spent some time yesterday talking about the former Alabama forward who was not granted more eligibility because he had signed a contract with a G League team. Well, not to spoil the entire story, but we're talking about a 9th year of eligibility granted at this point in time, which is wild to say out loud. I didn't know someone could play a decade of college sports, but this dude from Montana is trying. If you want to get in on any of that action, it's going to be a good one today. Go ahead and hit the youtube.com/the Romanellas. That's youtube.com/the Romanellas. Hit that follow button, please, and share it with a friend. The subscribe is so important. The Rome Show 1 on Twitter, X, and Instagram. We got Rocky Sounders going off everywhere right now. Instagram, Twitter, X, The Rome Show 1. That's The Rome Show. Then the number 1, Facebook.com/The Rome Show OG. Facebook. Right before we get into any of this, I have to get this off my chest. So if you've ever watched Family Guy, Peter Griffin has a segment where he's on the news for an episode or two, and the segment is, you know what really grinds my gears, okay? And it's an electric segment by Peter where he's talking about all these stupid little things that really piss him off, okay? Also known as idiosyncrasies, okay? Little things that just bother people. So as I'm getting ready for the show today, as I normally do, I do my scrolling through the Twitter X, I do my scrolling through the Instagram, I scroll through the social medias and see what has happened in the 9 hours since I did my prep last night to 6:30 this morning. What did I miss? Well, on our baseball homepage yesterday, we put up what I thought was an absolutely fire video. Okay, I got the Ray-Ban Meta glasses from my beautiful fiance for Christmas, okay? So we took the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, we put the Meta glasses inside the catcher's helmet, okay? So the catcher is now catching the pitches, and he's got the Ray-Ban Meta glasses on, and it is a sick view, okay? So we take a bunch of content, my assistant coach mixes it together, makes a fire reel, and puts it out yesterday. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is so cool. I hope other programs, if people have the metas, start doing stuff like this, because it's like the umpire view when you watch Major League Baseball, the catcher view when you watch Major League Baseball. It is ridiculous. You really start to see what pitches do, how hard they are, what the visual is for a batter. It's a super cool visual. So we make this fire reel. Awesome view, Meta glasses, catcher catching the baseball, all really cool stuff. And I wake up this morning to do my social media scrolling, and I got GIFs on our social media comments of somebody pretending to hit a homer and bat flipping. Another kid writes a comment. Oh, I took this kid deep in high school, 425. Where's my offer? Another kid comments like, oh, that ball would absolutely be crushed. So you know what really grinds my gears? What really grinds my gears is people that sit behind the comments on social media when they have no right. But that's not even the basis. It's just leave us alone. Leave us alone. You watched the video. You saw the video. Clearly, you didn't like the video, so just scroll past. But what really grinds my gears is loser people that take the extra time out of their day to comment negatively on a post, a clear post that it's kind of obvious is supposed to be a cool and fun post. And this is not subject to my baseball program. This grinds my gears all the time. One time I put up a Rome Show post all the time, the Rome Show 1, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, follow, do the thing. People will comment like, your take was terrible, get a new job. Wow, this is atrocious. I had some guy on the YouTube the other day go, I'm so sick and tired of everybody crying about Bill Belichick not making the Hall of Fame. Don Shula didn't make the Hall of Fame. Shut up already. Okay, buddy, how about you just disagree with the point? I don't know, man. Don Shula waited too long to get into the Hall of Fame. Why should Bill Belichick, who cheated, get in first ballot? Oh, that's a great way to go back and forth on the comment section. But what really grinds my gears is people that spend time on social media looking to write negative comments when truthfully, there's really nothing negative to be written there. Seriously. Stop hiding behind your little avatar. Stop hiding behind the keyboard. Just take a hike. You are a loser if you spend your time on social media looking to bring other people down. It's like, in theory, the opposite point of social media, but that's a whole nother radio show I don't have time for. That's a whole nother tangent in conversation I could probably write a book on. I could probably have a full podcast series on. We're not going down that road, but I just needed to take a second and channel my inner Peter Griffin and tell you all that what really grinds my gears is people that spend time on social media unnecessarily being negative. You want to disagree with an opinion? Sure. Why do you have to eviscerate someone? Why do you have to try and make them feel bad? Just scroll. Just scroll. Just move on. Don't hit the like button and move on with your life. But that really grinds my gears. And the more people do it, with this platform, the more I'm just going to call you out. So the more negative, like, it's one thing to disagree. I'm cool with that. Absolutely. My opinions are not God. My opinions are probably wrong a lot of the times. So are my betting takes. A lot of things I say are probably wrong. Okay? It's the way you disagree. It's the way you disagree. So I just had to get that started today because I was getting ready for the show and I was like, God, this bothers me so much. These people should have their social media shut off. Because I'm not saying it needs to be all sunshine and rainbows out there, but just leave us alone. I'm not letting Rocky leave us alone. He's been gone for 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks. We've been waiting for Rocky Romanella, and finally we have his return. We take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it is hockey with Rocky, but it is Olympic style. USA, USA, USA. Rome Show back after this.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Now, inside the glass, hockey with Rocky. Yeah, where's he at? There he
I'm ready.
is. Yeah.
We got 2 Rockies.
Oh, no way. Hold on. I have a sounder for that.
Handle this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Like, you know what's funny is we started off the show by mentioning the 2 Rocky Romanella sounder, and now here we are with 2 Rocky Romanellas, though not the size of Rocky Romanellas we expected to see. Very much exciting that we got both Rocky Romanellas.
Yeah, Rock's pretty fired up. Let me know if can you hear me, by the way?
Oh, yeah. You guys sound great.
All right, great. Yeah, Rock was sitting here saying that he didn't understand what gears were and that you were speaking a different language. So,
well, I had to channel my inner Peter Griffin today, Rocky, because I just got really fired up on social media.
Yeah, listen, you want to know what really grinds my gears, and that is going to be, if the U.S. doesn't get to the gold medal game.
Dude, I was reading up, so I want to hold off men's for a second here, okay?
Yeah.
But I got to comment on what you just said. I feel that way on both teams, and is that overly cocky, Rocky? Like, should I not feel that way? Like, am I crazy to think that if both USA teams just simply don't make it to the gold medal game, I feel like it's a failed Olympics?
Yeah. Well, listen, the women have to make it there. Like, they have to go complete. They have to go complete because the level of dominance that they have displayed in the qualifying round is
off
just
the charts.
Incredible.
Just so you're all aware, if you haven't known, they've outscored their opponent 4 games, 4-0, 20-1. They shut out Canada for the first time ever in Olympic history, Rocky. That's wild.
Yeah, obviously Canada was missing one of the best players in the world in their captain, but that doesn't change what we've been seeing from the U.S. because it's not just the Canada game that showed their dominance. I think when they played Finland, it was just like, I remember I watched it a little. I was just like, this is like, I don't think they touched the puck.
They didn't. No, they didn't. Some of the players were watching it in my office because, right, you watch the games at these weird times. It's like 2:10 in the afternoon.
No, I know.
And at one point, one of the guys was in our office, Rock, for like 10 minutes, and he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, is there like a reason they're only in this side of the ice?" I was like, No. That's just how good they are. Like, this is
so good.
They're just that much better than the 3rd or 4th best team in the world. It's crazy.
And the thing for me that I've really paid attention to, and I don't know if about paid attention is the right word, but has stuck out to me. It's not, we can talk about their team play all day and we can talk about the team game. But to me, the skating and skills are it's the best I've ever seen.
I agree. It's clear and obviously different. Like, I know Canada was missing their number 1 lady yesterday, but it still felt like our puck handling, our skating, even the way that our goaltending operates left to right and in and out of the crease, it feels like we have a slight extra edge on every single other person in the competition.
Yeah, it's very obvious that, like, obviously our progression from youth all the way through has been, really, really just that much better than every other country. I mean, the comparison would be like, this is where UConn women's basketball was at the beginning of Gino Oriema.
Fair.
Where you've just elevated the playing field so much that it's going to take a minute for the rest of the countries to catch up.
It's such a good point. And you wonder, right, what it looks like, because it's hard to look at it any way than it is right now, because it's been 28 years of women's hockey in the Olympics, and it's either been Canada or USA. And then when it's only been those two and USA puts a dominating performance on like that, it feels like it's USA and then the rest of the country's trying to figure out how to compete.
But
as the coach,
but as the coach said yesterday, like, I mean, it doesn't matter yet.
No.
Right?
Doesn't.
Like, you've got to go win. You've got your preliminary. No, preliminary is over. We got quarterfinals. Like, you go right into quarterfinals. Like, the top 4 men's team get a bye.
Yep.
In the next round after their qualifier.
Right.
Whereas, like, here you're going and, like, you've got to go play the 8th best team in qualifying. So, you're going to be okay. But depending on what Canada does today, or tomorrow, it will determine their seed, and you might not see them in the finals.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the women's quarterfinals, Rocky, they start on Friday.
Oh, well, they reseed. Never mind. They would see them in the final because they reseed after each elimination.
You just took the words out of my mouth. So Canada plays Czechia. Oh wait, that's the women. Excuse me, that's the men. Canada women's plays Finland. Rocky.
Yeah, final game of qualifying.
That is correct. That game is tomorrow, and Finland sitting at 1-2, and Canada 2-1. Now, the other side of this, and I don't think Canada's going to lose to Finland, but that's the other side of this thing is that they do lose to Finland, and it is a different looking world. But we're not going to get that semantical to it. By the way, the reason why the men's and women's are different, ladies and gentlemen, because the men's have 3 groups. 4 teams in a group, 12 total teams. The women has 2 groups, 6 teams in a group, or 4 in a group. I think it's 8 total, right, Rocky? Or is it 10 total? It's like
the
something
women
like
have
that.
the women have
10
2
maybe.
Groups. The women have 2 groups, 10 teams total, 2 groups of 5.
So that's the difference.
The top 8 teams move on. Excuse me, that's not the case. Group A gets all 5 teams that move on.
Right.
Group B only gets 3 teams
based on like their rankings or it was like something weird like that, right?
There's some relegation for you.
Yep. I read something because the World Baseball Classic, Rocky, and the Olympics are doing something similar. Yeah. Like if you win in certain areas, you're getting 2 teams into the Olympics in 2028. If you don't, this group in the World Baseball Classic doesn't have as much clout as this group in the World Baseball Classic.
as winning should do. Winning
correct.
Should do, which is great.
So let's switch it to the men.
On the men's, you have 3 groups of 4. They each play 3 games, so they play everyone in your group. Then you move to the knockout stage. All 12 teams advance. The top 4 teams across all 3 divisions. So it'll be probably your top 3 seeds plus 1 extra. We'll get a bye. And the remaining 8 teams will play each other, and then you'll play through the bracket from there.
Do you find it interesting that they have all 12 teams advance in the men's tournament?
I do, but also like think about a tournament where you're only guaranteed 3 games versus being guaranteed 4. So,
yeah, and it's for your country, right? Like you're like if you're Latvia, you're not winning a medal, so you're just proud to be there.
Yeah, if you did 2 groups of 6, you would need to get it down to 8. So 2 groups of 6 would be top 4 in each side. So yeah. I guess in this way, like you're giving people who are 0-3 a chance to find themselves in a quarterfinal game.
That's a great point. Rocky, our number 1 fan from Australia, writes in saying hello. We wanted to throw that up on the screen.
Oh, what's up, Megan?
Meg is locked. She's a Seahawks fan, Rocky, so she's been super stoked about the Seahawks and winning the Super Bowl.
Very impressive, Sam Darnold. Got very excited for Sam Darnold.
Very, very excited. All right, we got a good women's ice hockey team in the Olympics right now. We're talking to Rocky Romanella, resident hockey expert. You know the drill. He's been here for like 7 years. Just only missed the last 2 weeks. When it comes to the men's tournament, okay, yes. It's clear and obvious that the 2 rosters for Canada and the roster for USA are fantastic rosters. But when you look at it, the reigning gold medal champion isn't it Finland or something like that? Like, isn't this a tournament where we can't just look at Canada and United States? We truly have to look at Finland, Sweden. And I don't know if there's anyone else in that mix, but I don't think it's as clear and above like it is on the women's side.
Well, the Russian team's not there, so that would be who you'd be talking about if they were.
Wild.
That's number 1. Number 2 is these are also the best U.S. and Canada teams we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you saw them on display in a small part. I mean, they both made changes between 4 nations last year and the Olympics this year. But yeah, in both cases, we are seeing some of the best talent collectively that we have ever seen. So that is also why there's a huge buzz. There's also a world where they don't even play each other.
I know. It's crazy.
They may not play each other, and if they do, it could either be, it's either going to be quarterfinal, semi, or gold. I mean, it's going to be in a knockout phase. And if it's not, either one team wildly underperformed and disappointed, right? Or there's no other reason. Or Sweden, Finland, or Czechia really overplayed the expectation.
Yeah, that I think is the underlying factor that gets missed. And you probably think mostly back to Four Nations a year ago, but that wasn't the whole world. And that doesn't mean that it's going to play out that exact same way that Finland and Sweden are there to hang out. And when I'm looking at these rosters, Canada made a goalie change, Rocky, and they changed what they have on their roster goaltending wise. They added some force. Like, I think clearly after the Four Nations, they felt like they needed a Wilson there to maybe combat the Kachucks or whoever you feel like is the bruiser for the United States team. Those are two major differences I see for Team Canada. For the United States, and I want your opinion on both of these, and we've talked about it a little bit. I like our roster. Do I feel like there's some other moves that could have been made? Sure. I just don't know if running the Kachuk brothers back out there ideal. Is Matthews as our captain actually what we need to lead us past a Sidney Crosby-led Canada team? Those are all the question marks I have looking at our roster.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with what you first said. So the changes at goaltender for Team Canada are, so they had Jordan Binnington, the starter. Now you're coming into the Olympics where Jordan Binnington has been one of the worst goaltenders in the league in the NHL. Now, also, you do have to remember, however, Jordan Binnington was a question mark to be the starter in the Four Nations last year, and John Cooper, head coach, stayed true to it and turned out to be the right decision. Who they changed out was Adin Hill of Vegas and Sam Montembeault of Montreal. Now, Adin Hill has a Stanley Cup with the Vegas Golden Knights, so that you essentially trade Kings goalie Darcy Kemper for Adin Hill, both Stanley Cup winners. Kemper won it with Colorado. And then Logan Thompson, who's more of an up-and-comer, similar to Montembeault. So both the same makeup, but both are playing great goaltender right now.
That's their biggest question mark to me.
And that's where the U.S. has the advantage.
Yeah.
Right. Between Connor Hellebuck and Jake Ottinger and Jeremy Swayman, you probably have the better straight up goaltending.
And now we know Swayman will throw punches. So that's huge.
That's right.
Now we know we'll get in it.
So what people also need to pay attention to is over the summer after Four Nations, there was a World Championships, and guys like Tage Thompson, Clayton Keller, and Jackson Lacombe all played on that team. And Tage Thompson looked incredible and helped the U.S. win gold at that tournament. Now, no one cared because it was the World Championships.
Right. But to the USA Hockey Circle, to getting ready for the Olympics, that shit matters.
And to improving the roster, that mattered.
Yeah.
And so that's where you see some of those. The question, I agree with you. I don't necessarily, they had lightning in a bottle with Eichel playing with both Kachucks. It looks like they're going to keep that. I don't hate the lineup. Vincent Trocheck is kind of like the 13th and 14th forward, which the only thing I don't understand about that is his ability to win faceoffs.
Yeah.
and kill penalties.
Right.
I don't necessarily love their depth, but
which is funny to say because you have a choice of literally everyone you want. But I think Bill Guerin, and maybe he's gonna, and hopefully he's right. I think he had some type of vision for what the third and the fourth line are gonna look like for this Team USA team. That I don't know if it brings a little toughness. I don't think it does. I don't know if it brings a little surprise or if he just had, how it is, Rock. You have one of those gut feelings and you're like, not many people are going to agree with this, but
the difference, right now, it's potential that let's say it's Jack Hughes. It could be, Trocheck out, Kyle Connor out, and right now it's Seth Jarvis and Sam Bennett for Team Canada. And they're just such a more physical presence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're just so heavy on the puck.
Yeah.
And Jack Hughes just doesn't have, that's not his game.
It's not him. No.
And so if there's not a spot for Jack on the top six, which, by the way, I don't know if Jack Hughes is worse than Clayton Keller. Clayton Keller's done a great job in Utah. I believe he's the captain of that team. But when you look at what you're going up against right? And you look at that secondary and you look at, oh, it's Sam Reinhart on the second line, or it's Tom Wilson, who is a physical presence, plays with Ovechkin. It's just a different feel. And it's really going to come down to like the team game for the US if they do match up against each other.
I do really like, though, Rocky, our defensive unit. Can you just talk a little bit about where our strength is on the blue line and how you feel in front of Hellebuck and those boys that defensive line will play out?
Yeah, I mean, between Quinn Hughes and Zach Werenski, you actually have two number 1 and number 2 defensemen that will be on the ice for the entire game. So that in itself is great. Werenski is actually having a career year. And
he's so good right now.
If there's anyone who's not winning the Norris Trophy for best defenseman in the league, if it's not Cale Makar, it's going to be Zach Werenski. And a lot of people would think he's playing better than Cale Makar is right now. So you're 1 for 1 there. You look at someone like Brock Faber, who probably no one knows.
Right.
But like he's just like a great, right? He's a great defenseman, a great complement to your number 1 defenseman. He's gonna be solid. He's gonna be steady. And then you've got the other guy over there is Charlie McAvoy, and I don't like the hit he took a couple weeks ago because I think he's fragile a little bit.
Right.
But Charlie McAvoy plays a tough game.
And he's good.
So I think in the top 4, you love the defense and you love the goaltending. It really is going to be about like sustaining offensive pressure and like really letting your top 6 guys show. I mean, Austin Matthews in 4 games at the Four Nations scored 0 goals last year.
Right. He was, and now he's our captain, and we're going to rely on him to do a lot for this team.
Yeah, I don't see how Brady Tkachuk or Jack Eichel wouldn't have become the captain. In my humble opinion.
Correct.
But I think Brady Tkachuk should have been the captain for the Olympics. I think what we saw at Four Nations and the way in which Austin Matthews has led his team this year, I would argue that Brady Tkachuk is the guy, and that's the type of game we need to embody for us to go deep and win.
And this might be the wrong statement, but I actually think it's right. So Sidney Crosby's not the best player on Team Canada right now. Like, obviously, Sidney Crosby's arguably the best Canadian to ever play hockey. But right now, based on the talent that team has and where Sidney Crosby's in his career, is he a top 12 player in Canada? Of course. He'll be in 50 years. He's still a top 12 player. I'm saying all that to say this. There are other people that you could look at and say, oh, it's time to give the C to this person for Team Canada, because it's the passing of the torch. You have so many great players on that roster, but you look at Team Canada and you're like, no, the only way we win this gold and the only way we won the gold last year in the Four Nations was by being led by this guy, by 87. 87's got to lead us. I feel the same way about the Tkachuks. I feel like we put the C on just what we presume as the best player on the team and not the best leader for the team. And by the way, Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast, Rocky made this point about the New York Rangers like 3 weeks ago and how the leadership in the locker room really matters. And I see the same. Issue's the wrong word, Rocky, because Austin Matthews could clearly lead a team. He can clearly be elite. He's one of the best scorers in the NHL. I just think for what we need, Rock, right now, I would agree with you. I'd like to see that C somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't, Crosby is the number 1 all-around NHL player in the league today at 38
Correct.
years old.
It's ridiculous.
He is an all-around point per game captain. And if you look at and we've talked about this a ton, the captain is the embodiment of the team. And if Austin Matthews is going to score 0 goals and not really play a significant portion, not play a significant role defensively or physically, then what are we embodying? And what we saw in the Four Nations was that when we play a physical brand of hockey and we don't back down, that is when the USA is at its best.
Correct.
So that is who should be embodying the C, and that is Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah.
It's
You're 100%
Brady.
right.
And it's nothing against Austin Matthews. It is just the makeup of USA hockey. You have to play a hybrid between skill and physical play. And that is what we've taken our hockey from the Canadians. We've taken it from the Russians, right? We've done we're a hybrid of the schools of hockey from the past. And our brand is always physical and in your face.
Yeah, no, you're right. Meg writes in again. You take that back. Sid the Kid is him, Andrew. let me explain that really quickly deeper. It'll make more sense. He's 17th in the league in goals, 39th in assists, 22nd in points. But he is, to Rocky's point, the best overall player in the National Hockey League. Therefore, he is the captain. It is not about, he is not the best pure scorer right now. He might not be the best assist man. He might not be the best defensive centerman, but when you put it all together in Sidney Crosby, he is the best all around. And I agree. And, you know, Rock, the last thing I got on USA before I want to get your thoughts on the rest of the Olympics before you get out of here is I think this is still, though, the best we've ever felt. Like, it feels like we're the deepest as a country right now. It feels like we can only have this conversation because of how talented the USA-born player is right now, comparative to years past.
No doubt. And just to finish the point, I mean, you've got Brad Marchand, former captain, Drew Doughty, former captain, you know, Nathan McKinnon is an assistant captain, and Stanley Cup winner, Connor McDavid is a captain, right? But what all those guys, they look up to Crosby.
Correct. Right.
They
Crosby,
look up to him.
It's Crosby, and then it's everybody else when it comes to Canada.
The U.S., on the flip side, doesn't have the veteran presence, right? Patrick Kane's not on the team.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have, like, think about it. Quinn Hughes is your best defenseman, and Zach Werenski is your best defenseman, and he's probably, I think he might be the most veteran guy, you know.
That's his first roster. Olympics, no?
Excuse me, Brock Nelson, I believe, is probably the most veteran guy. So, like, you're looking at it's just a completely different makeup. We're looking for the future of USA hockey. We're not necessarily, but the difference between, you know, where we are at in our history is that, like, this is a class that won when they were young. They won the World Juniors.
Correct.
They won at the U18 level. They won at the U20 level. So all these guys have been great on the international stage, and that's the difference that we've seen in USA hockey versus times past. Where we've had great teams. We saw Patrick Kane, the best US born hockey player. Which, by the way, still don't know why he's not on the team. That must be a personal choice because I don't.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
But, like, that is kind of where you're at. This is the crop that kind of made us better at the youth level now in the NHL.
Yeah, see, right? And I just think that you're right. And you have to win this. Like, it has to be the most team hockey you've ever seen from the red, white, and blue. It has to be. Like, you got to have goals from the third line, the fourth line, the first line, the second line. Like, you got to hear everybody's name every single game. Like,
if you do what you did in Four Nations, where you end up playing three lines, I just don't see
how you sustain that.
I don't see how you're winning in the semis and in the finals.
Yeah,
that is where I think it's going to catch up. But, like, that is where I think the different, like, that was my biggest takeaway from Four Nations, is that you can't go run the team like it's, you know, like it's a squirt AAA team and you're going to play three lines for the entire game. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
When you have access to the best. And that is where, you know, we went out in goaltending. That is where I think the difference between the Canadian team and our team is that their fourth line is the first line.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Regards. I would agree with that. And, I think we give Canada the nod in captainship and depth in terms of offense. And I think we give Team USA the nod in goaltending. And I think defense, Rock, but I think that is to be determined. Probably coaching goes to Canada as well. Would you agree?
I right now, absolutely, because I can't stand what Mike Sullivan and David Quinn are doing with the New York Rangers. And that's probably the number one thing that makes me nervous about USA is the way in which these guys are running the Rangers.
I agree. And Cooper is one of the best coaches I've ever seen.
And John Cooper is a stud.
He makes decisions, bro, and they work every time.
Look at where Tampa Bay is in the standings right now. And even though they have not won the Stanley Cup the last 2 years, look at where the Panthers are. Look at where the Tampa Bay Lightning are. Because even after their back-to-backs, they have still never missed the playoffs.
Yeah, by the way, to answer Rocky's question, they are 37, 14, and 4, 78 points sitting atop the Atlantic, sitting atop the Eastern Conference, tied with the Hurricanes, and they have the tied for the second best record in the league.
And by the way, way back in October, there was a hot, rock solid, rock soft on, are the Tampa Bay going to make it back to the playoffs this year?
There was. Yeah, and you said that you were
Kucherov
hot.
hadn't gotten hot yet, and now he's making a bid for MVP.
Yep.
John Cooper's the steady Eddie, right? Who's got the guys they just play the right brand of hockey at all times. And now look at where they are at.
Give me a Nikita Kucherov MVP. How? Come on. I've been on Nikita Kucherov as arguably the best player in the National Hockey League for like 5 years now, Rocky. And every time we talk hockey, his name comes up every time. Something positive. It's usually nothing negative. And I feel like this dude has never truly gotten his due because he's playing in an era where other guys maybe are just a little bit better or scoring just a little bit more, like a McDavid or a Matthews, etc.
Yeah, I mean, the way in which, he's really willed the team, it's hard not to say he isn't the front runner at this point. But you're going to look at, the good thing about hockey is that they give awards for the top scorer and the top assist person and the top defenseman. So you truly can look at an MVP the right way.
If you were wondering, Nikita Kucherov is 1 assist away from 700 in his career, and he is 14 goals away from 400. He has, in his career, 1,085 points, Rocky, in 854 games. He is scoring. He's getting like a point plus every single game of his career. That's impressive.
Yeah, I think the only other person, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, you can always argue, but the next up to me would be, obviously it's Nathan McKinnon, I think that people are going to look to, but for me, you could even argue that Macklin Celebrini has made the San Jose Sharks relevant this year. And in his third year in the league, I don't know how that's not in consideration for the MVP.
I agree. I just think that kind of like the quarterback. Now, hockey doesn't do this as much as any other sport, but I think we do get enamored with the goal scoring, Rocky. I think it's hard for us to get away from the goal scoring as the primary thing we look at for a most valuable player.
Totally. Well, you
kind of makes sense.
If you have the most goals, you typically win.
You are correct. Megan told us that she's coming back for blood when Sid the Kid gets gold and Team Canada. I think she's really missing the point on us. We're not saying that Sidney Crosby is not elite. Never mind. I'm not even going deep into it. Rocky, I need your final thoughts on the rest of the Olympics before we get going here.
I think the Olympics have been fantastic so far. I just love, usually I kick off my calls at work with music. Yesterday I kicked off a call with the highlights from day 2, just because I think
I love
fun
that
for everyone to watch. There was just an electric replay of the curling victory, which was great. Figure skating has been a lot of fun. Little Rock for whatever reason was loving the luge.
Dude, the luge is sick.
Luge is reckless. It's just reckless. I don't,
it's an extreme slide.
Nice slide, But I think the Olympics just it's just a good reminder that sports are awesome.
Yeah.
Real quick,
great point.
When Lindsey Vonn hurt her ACL, here's what I said. I said, who is the coach saying you can't play?
Right.
Because we need to win gold.
Right.
And the person I actually thought, and by the way, I love the fact that the resiliency, I'm going out, going hard. I'm in on all that. But if someone got hurt on Team USA Hockey, we've replaced them.
Right. You can't do that in skiing. Right.
And if I'm the 22-year-old first cut of USA women's skiing.
Right.
And I might not ever be good enough to get back to the Olympics. I'm pissed.
Right.
I should be there.
Right. Yeah, you should have the opportunity. Yeah.
Because I'm healthy.
They don't bring alternates. That's a great point. There's no extra players.
And that is, and I said that before she went down and now broke her tibia, which I feel terrible about because you wanted her to. I was cheering for the redemption. I hope you go. Yeah, at the
imagine if you won a medal.
The hill.
Right, yeah, just get down. Just get down the hill. Yeah, exactly right.
So I think that that was surprising to me. Other than that, I think I think the Olympics are. I love the Olympics. I don't know how
that is an exceptional point out of you, Rocky. Do you want to stay for me to finish with the Olympic stats, or do you want to get out of here before we go?
I'm going to get out of here to help the kids get ready for school, but I will say I'm halfway through the 1980 documentary on Netflix about it's so good.
So good. So good.
So good.
When the first episode started with them talking about how much they hated Herb Brooks in some light, I was like, this is going to be really good.
Yeah, I like that it's all natural footage too.
Same.
You got footage from practice, you got footage, so that's all good. I like
and
that.
You know what I realized in watching, I think I'm halfway through as well, or maybe a little bit more, is that the movie produced by Disney, pretty good.
It's like 90% accurate.
Yo, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like at one point, I'm like, is this a clip from the movie or is this actually what went on?
And if you get, I don't know where I saw it, and I've always looked for it, but the making of Miracle is just as good as the movie.
Yeah.
Because it shows them how they were picking the talent to match the players and in reality. And then it talks about how the actors started calling each other the nicknames of the actual guys that they were.
That's great.
They would call, so and the way in which they played the games to film the actual gameplay.
It's probably pretty cool.
Well, they were all hockey players. They all played pretty hard.
Yeah.
And they all ended up winning the game. So it was just so that's good. But it's always, listen, is it overplayed? Nah, maybe not. Because it's still, if it was any other topic, I'd be like, all right, we've had enough.
Right.
But because it's this, I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah. And I mean, hell, it is literally, take sport out of it, one of the greatest moments in the country's history. Your favorite fan said what she said. She agrees with your luge, and you have a great day. Needed to make sure I got that out. Yeah. Rocky Romanella, everyone, here maybe once a week, maybe once every 3 weeks. I don't know. It just depends. We'll see him soon, I guess.
See you for the medal round.
That's right. He'll come back. He'll talk USA hockey. He'll talk Canada hockey. He'll talk Sidney Crosby being elite. That's for damn sure. But he probably won't talk any more women's downhill alpine skiing. I will tell you that. By the way, Team USA collected 5 more medals yesterday at the Milan Cortina Olympics. We captured women's skiing team alpine. That was a bronze medal for Jacqueline Wiles and Paola Mautzen. We got the second medal ever in freestyle skiing men's, I think, or cross-country skiing since 1976. We also won a silver medal in freestyle skiing. We got a bronze in luge. We just talked about luge. Ashley Farquharson. That's the 7th medal ever in luge for the United States. 3rd singles luge medal ever for the United States. So in total, we collected 3 silver, 2 bronze yesterday as a country, and we are sitting medal count 7. If you want to take a look at your screen and see the entire medal count, Norway is waxing people right now in anything considered cross country or downhill skiing. Check out the team Norways, because it's ridiculous how good they are at skiing. Italy held the medal count lead for the last few days, but with Norway's few skiing medals yesterday, they take the lead. USA sits in 4th. The last medal I forgot to mention is my favorite medal. Corey from the curling team, they nailed a silver medal, losing 6-5 to Sweden in the gold medal round. But that is the first curling mixed doubles medal in the history of the United States. Round of applause for those fantastic athletes that are representing our country so well to finish. I had a true blast today talking to Rocky about USA men's and women's hockey. For a reminder, USA women's in the quarterfinals, they're sitting at 4-0, a 20-1 opponent differential in all 4 of those games. Men's hockey gets started on Thursday with their first game against Latvia. Meg, as always, thank you for tuning in. And also, thank you for not grinding my gears and being able to disagree on social media and make it fun. Hey, I'm just saying, if you don't like a video, just scroll past it. Andrew Romanella, The Rome Show. We'll be back tomorrow, probably around 6:45, because it's a Thursday during baseball season. Until then, I will see you. Have an electric day. Andrew Romanella. Peace.
Thank you for listening.